You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? America Off the Rails has been declared a conservatives-only safe zone. Only conservatives allowed from this point forward. Any liberal, socialist, butthurt, hippie, tree huggers, please exit the facility immediately. Again, attention please. America Off the Rails is now designated as a conservative safe zone only. All butthurt, tree-hugging, hippie, free-to-be, you and me types exit the facility immediately. Thank you.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan, period.
This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
Oh, welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
All right, folks, well, happy Friday. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We're coming to you live right now from beautiful downtown Oklahoma City, just a few minutes past the hour of 10 right here in Oklahoma City. Oh, actually, 9 my time, 10 Eastern. I'm used to giving the Eastern and the Pacific times because I have, hosts all over the country, so pardon me if I sound confused for a moment. I actually have a guest with me this evening. You may know him from Twitter. Dan is with me. He's agreed to come on the show. We're going to do a little bit of talking about Trump. I've also called out Trumpkins on Twitter, So for those of you who have not been paying attention and blowing up my phone for the last 5 minutes, we weren't even on the air yet. Give me a minute to get settled in. We'll open up the phone lines at about 10:15. Then you are welcome to call. I will take you one at a time. There will be no call screener. We'll basically just say, hey, you're on with us. Give me your name, and we'll start talking. If you get too rude, you're dumped, and we'll move on to the next one. If you don't call, then every so often I'm going to play this little sound effect that sounds like crickets, and then we're going to get to make fun of Trumpkins on Twitter from now until the end of eternity. So, whichever way works for me. All right, so good evening. Dan, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I am hanging in there. It's been an interesting few days. I have been on a nonstop tirade on Twitter.
You have been, and I've been enjoying it greatly. It's been fantastic, and I've been jumping in where I can. And when I saw you call them out tonight, I got a hold of you on Twitter and said, "Let me join in." I personally, I would be pleasantly surprised if they do call in, and I hope they do.
Well, somebody has been blowing up the phone the whole time you and I were prepping, so I'm hoping that somebody actually calls in. I'm sure it'll probably just be long enough to tell me that I'm an idiot and hang up the phone, but, whatever. If they bother to call in now at all, that they can hear the shows live, because, they knew we weren't live when they were calling, so I'm just kind of curious to see what's going to happen. But we shall see. All right, so you and I have talked a lot on Twitter, but we've never really talked in person before. So why don't we get your perspective while we're waiting to see if anybody's going to bother to call in? What were some of the first things that you noticed about Trump that started making you go, I'm not so sure this is the guy the country's looking for?
I at first, to be honest with you, when he first came out and said he was running, I really thought it was a joke. And what really turned me, he had said a couple things where I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. When the whole John McCain thing went down, and he not even basically, he said John McCain was a loser because he got caught. That to me, right there, and I'm not a huge John McCain fan, but what John McCain went through was horrible. And not only that, he had an out, and he didn't take the out because he didn't think it was fair. For Trump to say that he's a loser for getting caught, right there, I was done. Over, wouldn't even consider it. Not a man that dodged the draft 5 times. It wasn't going to happen. I was done. That's it. I was never Trump from there on out.
And see, that was me, because I have to admit, in the beginning, when he first came onto the scene and he was going all WWE style and basically picking up chairs and bashing reporters over the head and calling out everybody for doing all the crazy things they've done, I got to admit, for about 5 minutes, I ate it up. I really did, because it was kind of what we wanted to see Romney do, and Romney didn't do it. But then I realized he has no off switch. It never stops. He doesn't know when to stop. He doesn't know when to stop pushing. He doesn't know when he's gone too far. And honestly, he doesn't even care when he's gone too far.
Absolutely. And I was the same way. I was like, okay, this could shake things up, which I want. And that's where I am right now. I want things to blow up. But it's gotten to the point where he's squelched that. He is the GOP now. And so here we are with the GOP and the Dems and the elite on both sides, and there they are. And he is it. But other people don't seem to see that. He went from, I'm going to blow it up, to, I'm the establishment now. Yet you and I are called the establishment, which I don't understand. I just don't get it.
No, and it's been one of the things that I have said all along. I actually, I don't think it's queued up, but I actually have a clip where he talks about the fact that once he gets past the nomination point, he's going to have to move towards the establishment. And there was actually a couple of CNN reporters, I think it was CNN, that spoke to one of his spokespeople and says, "Hey, are you aware that he said this?" And the dude's like, No, he never said that. That's not what he meant. And then they played the clip, and he's like, well, that's not what he meant. And he literally says, so yeah, folks, so maybe after I get past the nomination, I'm going to have to move a little bit more towards the establishment because that's how we're going to get things done. But what's so wrong with being establishment? After the dude's been bashing the establishment for months, he's telling people at a rally, well, yeah, but we're going to have to move that way to get things done. And he's done it with lightning speed, and nobody's talking about it. He's hired one of the people that was originally with the Reagan campaign, who's been a part of politics for now for so long they've basically built buildings around him. So the dude is nothing but establishment at this point, because that's the problem. When you get to the point where you're involved in D.C. for that long of time, you can't help but let it change you. We saw it happen with McCain in front of our eyes. He was everybody called him the Maverick when he first got there. Now he's the nag.
Exactly, and I wasn't a Cruz supporter, but I will admit, if there was anybody out of the 17 that started this whole disaster, Cruz was the furthest right. I mean, and I didn't support him from the beginning. I supported him because it became the only conservative. He became the only conservative left to support. I was a Walker guy and a Rubio guy, but I was a Walker guy and a Rubio guy because I believed they could beat anybody that the Democrats put up against them. That was my thing. I came back to the Republican Party after 12 years as a libertarian. Now I'm back. I'm a libertarian again. I thought this was the election where we were like, Obama's gone.
Dude, this was it. This was literally the election where we couldn't screw it up, and somehow we've still managed to screw it up.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and it's they don't see it. It's done. I mean, right now, if you look at Hillary Clinton and what she is doing, she hasn't even won her party's nomination yet, and she's destroying Trump on social media. She's destroying him on the mainstream media. And he and his followers are going after us. That's not going to win the election. They've already lost it. It's gone. They've lost Virginia. They're ready to lose Georgia.
Dude,
when did anybody think that Georgia would be a swing state?
Flipping Georgia is purple. I mean, I still can't wrap my mind around the fact that flipping Georgia is purple. Do you realize that puts pretty much any state in play? Because if Georgia can go purple, so can Texas, so can Oklahoma, so can pretty much any state. Because Cruz won in Oklahoma by a landslide. And the thing that actually had me have a little bit of hope during the Indiana thing for like 5 minutes was when the polls started closing here in Oklahoma, they were calling it for Trump. And about halfway through, all these votes started pouring in for Cruz. So I kept crossing my fingers, saying, come on, Indiana, don't do this to me. Come on, Indiana, don't do this to me. Don't leave me with this crazy, orange-haired, freaking cheesy poof-covered idiot. And Indiana says, yeah, we're done fighting. We just want to move forward with the election now. So we're going to go with Lord Cheesy Poof. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, I like I told you, I came back. I ended up being a huge Rubio supporter. I supported him monetarily. I went and met him, saw him speak, and met him, shook his hand, talked to him. Great guy. When it came around to my primary here in North Carolina, I voted for Cruz. Rubio was still in it, but I voted for Cruz because I was like, we have to make sure that we win this. So I voted against my own candidate. And then I have Trump supporters telling me that I need to wake up and stop drinking the Kool-Aid. I voted against my own candidate. How am I drinking the Kool-Aid? You know, it drives me absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the circular logic of the Trump crowd. It reminds me of an argument that I was having with somebody earlier today, and I mean, I'm sure you saw it because at some point you got tagged in on it. But the dude basically, when I told him that I couldn't support Trump and why, he pointed out to me that as far as he was concerned, the conservative party was dead. So then when I started saying, hey, this guy actually says what I know most Trump supporters think, but he actually says it out loud. Then he starts calling me out for pointing out the fact that he says the conservative party's dead because he still considers himself a conservative. It's like, okay, so you just said the conservative party's dead. How do you consider yourself a conservative? Well, I'm a common sense conservative, not a constitutional conservative. What the hell does that even mean?
That means I'm a liberal. That's what that means. He's not a conservative. A conservative stands by the Constitution. You can't be, I mean, as a libertarian, being a libertarian, I have problems with my party.
Hey, I think we have a caller.
I support Austin.
Hang on a second, caller. Hey, Dan, hang on. We got a caller. All right, caller, you are live on the air. This is America.
Unknown caller. To add this caller to your current call, press 5.
Really?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
Really?
press 2.
It's going to do that.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Okay, well, I guess they hung up before I could get them brought over. All right, caller, if you want to try again, apparently I forgot that with two of you on the line, it's going to be a little more tricky to get you on, but we'll keep trying. Oh, Dan, you still there, or did I lose you?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm here.
Okay. I don't know what happened, because when I tried to bring you over, it was being stupid.
I'm supporting Austin Peterson right now, but I support him because he's pro-life. The problem in the Libertarian Party is there is a little bit of a fight on that. Half, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less is pro-life, and the other way around.
Call from unknown caller. To add this caller to your current call, press 5. To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Is this Crooked Rick Robinson?
I'm sorry, is this who?
Is this Crooked Rick Robinson?
Oh, so I'm Crooked Rick Robinson. No, this is Rick Robinson. Who is this?
This is John Miller.
All right, Mr. Miller, how you doing?
I have called to clear some things up. I work for the presumptive Republican presidential candidate, Mr. Me. Not Mr. Me, Mr. Trump. You have said some bigly bad things, and I, John Miller, have called you, Crooked Rick Robinson, to clear this up. This is very bad, Rick. This is very, very bad.
Oh, so it's bad that I've said
this is Cracker Barron.
So hold on a second there. Hold on a second there, Mr. Cracker. Melania, shut the hell up. I mean, my wife's name is not Melania. I am John Miller. My wife's name is Melanie. Hold on a second. Oh, shut up! Russian whore. Dutch. My wife is Dutch. Dutch whore. Hello, this is John Miller. Who is this now, Mr. Cracker?
This is Cracker Barron.
Cracker Barron.
Yes.
Okay, I have had enough with this never Trump radio crowd running around saying things about Mr. Trump. I cannot have this. There are too many lies being told. Too many.
So where are the lies? Where are they at? Point some out.
Where they at?
Yeah.
Let's start with all the lying Mexicans. Let's start with them. Have you heard about the wall that Mr. Trump wants to build?
You mean the one to keep the Mexicans away from his wife?
No. That was all about the beautiful door. That's a different thing. Hold on a second. Shut up, God damn it! I'm sorry, Melanie was being loud.
I'm sorry, who?
Melania, Mrs. Miller.
I'm sorry. I thought you said Melania Miss Miller. What? Is that a name, or do you have a stuttering problem?
No, I am just trying to keep things straight here. Why don't you focus on the question here, Mr. Crooked Robinson?
And what question is that? We're talking about the lying Mexicans who are building a wall to keep them away from Trump's wife.
The lying Mexicans, hold on a second, Mr. Robinson. The lying Mexicans have been working for the Miller firm for decades. For decades, I've had lying Mexicans working for me.
So wait, you have had lying Mexicans working for you? How's that going to work when Mr. Trump, you builds the wall?
What? Hold on. I am Mr. Miller. I cannot speak for Mr. Trump. I cannot. I am only here.
They're already here, right, Mr. Miller? So that's okay.
Who?
The lying Mexicans that work for your firm. They're already here, right?
No. The only lying Mexicans that I know were the ones who have stripped my daughter. I mean, Mr. Trump's daughter. I mean, the daughter that I don't want to have sex with. Okay, I hope this has cleared it up. Anybody who needs proper representation, just call Mr. Miller at 1-800 not Donald Trump. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey, Mr. Miller, you've got us. We're voting Trump now.
Yeah, not so much, brother, but nice try. That was interesting.
Was that JD?
I have no idea. If it was, nobody warned me. And besides, even if it was, I wouldn't admit it on the air because, if he was going to do it ahead of time, he would have told me. That was pretty funny.
I think that was Jay.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, too. But still, it was funny. I didn't recognize the number because I'm used to having his number stored in my regular phone, so he's been calling me this whole time. I didn't realize it was him.
It was JD.
Yeah, I know. I can see him in Twitter. That's fine though. It was great. It added to the show. It was awesome.
That was pretty damn good, actually.
But it just proves my point because that's the same number that's been blowing up the phone the whole time. So obviously, no Trumpkins are going to call because we're now 6 minutes past the time that I told them they were going to have open phone lines. And other than JD pulling a prank, we got. Come on, tough guys! You're all big bad talk on Twitter. Where you at? I mean, you can call me out on Twitter.
You put the phone number out there. I put the phone number out there. Where are they?
So just in case you can't read Twitter, which I know you can because you like to call me names and point out how I'm supposedly this big fat guy on Twitter when most of you don't even have pictures up of yourselves. Never mind the fact that picture's about a year old and I've dropped 40 pounds, so kiss my ass. Number is 408-681-8255. Come on, Trumpkins, you talk a lot of smack on Twitter. Let's talk in person. Let's see how tough you really are. Something tells me it's going to be a whole night of me and Dan and a bunch of this. Because none of you got a sack, apparently, because the phone lines have been open for 6 minutes and nada. All right, so have you heard about the fact that Mr. Trump is now a little ticked off at Amazon?
At Amazon?
Uh-huh. Apparently
I did not hear that.
Apparently the dude that owns Amazon has decided that he's going to try to see if he can figure out a way to take Trump off at the knees. So all of a sudden...
yes, I did hear about that, actually, yeah.
So now Trump is all being his authoritarian self and be like, yeah, he's just afraid of me because he knows that he's not being taxed properly. And if I'm elected president, I'm going to come after him with the full weight and might of my office and make sure that he pays all of his taxes. This from the guy that won't even release his tax returns. But he's all over somebody else's business.
He's going to go after what may be the most powerful business on the face of the earth right now. That's a good idea. That's a fantastic idea.
It's kind of like the rest of the harebrained ideas he has.
I'll tell you, Amazon, my brother has a startup company that he's working on, and two of his partners came from Amazon. And the higher-ups at Amazon are pushing their executives to go out on their own and start their businesses. Amazon may be the biggest generator of new businesses in the United States right now. And Donald Trump wants to go after them.
Well, of course he does.
They push their executives to use their brains and go out and, okay, we can replace you. You have a great idea. Go out and start your idea. That's what Amazon does. That's what my brother's involved in right now. My brother's a liberal, and he said he would vote for just about anybody right now that was involved in this election on the Republican side, except for Trump, because he hates Hillary. And he's involved in a company that Amazon has pushed. And Trump's going to come out and say he'll go after Amazon because the CEO of Amazon doesn't agree with him.
The CEO of Amazon doesn't like me, so therefore I have to destroy them because I have no sack. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Oh, I don't know.
Where are all of our callers?
The Trumpkins are doing this. Actually, I think that may be somebody else that I know. Hang on a second.
Call from unknown caller. To add this caller to your current call, press 5. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Don't go away.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, caller. You're on the line.
Hey, how you doing tonight, Rick?
Hey, Jess. How's it going? So the whole cast is calling in, but still no Trumpkins. I'm just saying.
No, you just got crazy old me. When you were talking, I was reminded of something that I read in Brad Thor's letter last night. When I read his entire open letter, and for anybody who wants to find it, it's on his official Facebook page, bradthor.com.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. I'm going to just read 2 paragraphs of it out, and I think just says enough as to no offense why I am with him in the Never Trump camp and will stay there. In other words, Donald Trump has clearly told all of us that he will use the power of the presidency to force people to bend to his will. This is not liberty. In fact, Donald Trump has never even spoken about liberty, neither has he spoken about the Constitution and the founding documents. This is an absolute first in the history of the United States.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I read.
Have you read his open letter?
I read the whole thing. Well, you sent it to me, but yeah, I read the whole thing.
And I have to say, that's one man that has a gift for words. And while I'm no Trumpkin, obviously.
No, and they had an open invite to call in and talk tonight, and they're not calling.
I agree with New York Times bestselling author Brad Thor. Where is liberty's safest place? And I do not think it is in Donald Trump's hands.
It is not, and you are correct. And Rick and I had a guy today on Twitter that literally said, I am not a constitutional conservative. I will not stand by a 250-year-old piece of paper. That's what he said. I will not stand by a 250-year-old piece of paper.
While he's telling us he's conservative, mind you.
My first husband fought and swore an oath, raised his right hand and swore an oath to protect and defend that Constitution and paid the ultimate price for it. My second husband just reenlisted for 6 years. Every person who serves in the Senate or the House or the presidency takes an oath that says something about protecting the Constitution. Now, the president doesn't say protect. It says something about support and defend, not protect and defend. But the Senate and the House and the military all say protect and defend. And I'm sorry, if you are not willing to stand by that document that is bathed in the blood of our military before we were even a country. You
Absolutely.
don't deserve the time of day.
Absolutely. My girlfriend is 19 years in the Air Force. She has taken the same oath, and that oath means something, and the Constitution is what this country was founded on. And for anybody to say that it's just a 250-year-old piece of paper tells me that you're a liberal. You're not a conservative. There is no way you are a conservative.
Do me a favor, catch me off after you get off air. I'm on Twitter at Jesse's POV. I am putting together a Memorial Day special. I'm looking for veterans and their family members, for those family members and friends for the veterans who are no longer with us, to tell their stories for Memorial Day. And anybody else who's out there listening who's a veteran or a family member of a veteran can contact me at Jesse's POV on Twitter or Jesse's POV at K98talk.org. No, Rick, I didn't leave it up to you tonight.
That's all right. I was going to get to it, but you did a better job than I would have anyway. So,
hey, I'm hoping to fill 15 hours with veteran stories. I'm planning on filling every spare minute you've got on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Well, let's make it happen.
Do it.
All right. Well, at this point, folks,
that's my hope.
All right. Well, at this point, folks, it's about time for us to go ahead and take a really quick break.
I'll get off the line, so hopefully one of these Trumpkins can call in.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. They've had 15 minutes so far.
I don't
nada.
either, but it's fun to try. It's fun to try.
That's all right. This is actually going to turn into a YouTube video before it's all said and done. So I'm going to take the little clips of me calling out the fact that they never called, and I'm going to turn them into audio spots for the show. And then I'm going to get the little John Miller impersonator that just called in and turn that into an audio spot for the show. It'll be good. We'll get some good material.
Hey, you know what I think. So, all right.
All right, Miss Jess.
I've also decided my write-in candidate is going to be none other than Brad Thor himself.
Nice. Yeah, they won't let us write in here, so I'm going to have to pick a libertarian or something.
All right. Well, you take care and you have a good night, Rick. Maybe we'll get that Trumpkin on the line yet. I'm going to see what I can help you stir up on Twitter.
Oh, I've been stirring them up all day. They ain't calling in by now. They ain't gonna, because they're a bunch of damn chickens. But anyway, we are going to have to take a really quick break, folks, pay some bills, and then we'll be back. I still have Dan with me on the line. We'll have open lines for the remainder of the show. Right before we go out, though, I do have Hillary's emails, so we'll have a day in the life of Hillary's server right before we close out the show. I have a new bit starting when I come back from a short vacation next week. We have a new bit because we've been attacking Hillary now for a while. I think it's about time we actually put a bit together to start attacking the Donald. And actually, we have that again put together by Mr. Eric Williams. I've got one of them almost ready to go, but we're still putting the finishing touches on it. Since Jess has already mentioned the Memorial Day special, I'll just remind you that is coming up pretty quickly. So if anybody is interested in contributing, make sure that you do reach out to her on either Twitter or Jess's POV at K98talk.org. And on that note, folks, we are going to take a really quick break. We'll be right back.
Prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. It's Friday night, and we have called out Trumpkins, and so far, none of them have answered. Big surprise. All right, so again, if you have the nerve, since a lot of you like to talk trash on Twitter, I said Twitter, the Twitters, as everybody likes to say, feel free to give me a call. It's 608. Hang on. 608. No, hang on. That's not right, is it? Is it bad when you forget your own call-in number? Shows you how often I give it out. Okay, 408-681-8255. That's 408-681-8255. I knew I was transposing numbers there somewhere. And to answer your question on Twitter, you shall remain nameless. The why is because all of you guys like to talk trash on Twitter, but anytime we give you an opportunity to do so as face-to-face as you can get when you're thousands of miles apart, all of you decline. That's why. And it's just to prove a point. Quit being such keyboard warriors, and if you actually believe this is the guy, call somebody and tell them why, because I will tell you point blank why I don't think he's the guy. Not only that, but I'll let you hear why in his own words, if you've got the nerve to call me. I almost said something I probably shouldn't have said on radio, even though we are on the internet right now and probably not going over to terrestrial until Monday, so I could have edited. But whatever. All right, so we've been mainly talking about Trump. I think that topic will probably continue. So we've kind of talked about why you, Mr. Dan, have decided you were never Trump. We didn't really talk very much about that for me, other than kind of me agreeing with what you said earlier. The biggest thing for me, the first thing I noticed, I think, was the McCain thing, because I think it actually happened first. And when I realized there was a really big problem in between the McCain thing was when there was a reporter that said something that Trump didn't like, and he started using a campaign rally to ridicule a reporter with a birth defect. I have 2 special needs children. I have, counting stepchildren, I have 6 altogether. 2 of them are special needs. The rest of them are normal, happy, healthy children, and thank God for that. My 2 with special needs are wonderful kids. They are very bright in their own way. They just have some difficulties with coping skills because of issues that they have. But it's one of those things that just went completely through me. Because we've already had a guy who's had no impulse control and no filter for the last 8 years. And we're about to do the exact same thing, except this time it's on our side of the aisle. And I don't understand that after all of these same people that are rallying around Trump right now, that were so anti-Obama and anti-Obama cult and pointing and laughing at all of the people like Chris Tingle Up My Legs Matthews, who was like, oh my God, Obama's going to save the whole world. And then they were calling people out for the teachers that were teaching kids to sing songs about Obama. And then there's a Trump rally where Trump has somebody doing the exact same damn thing with kids there. And everybody's fine with it and it's great because it's patriotic and it's wonderful and it's lovely. And I'm looking at all this going, you guys are doing the exact damn same thing that you've made fun of for 8 years on the other side of the aisle. And to quote Beaker yet again, I expected the pendulum to swing, not turn sideways, break off, and shove up the American people's butt. And that's not the word that he used, but I have to edit it a little bit. So that's kind of where I am in a nutshell.
I absolutely agree with you on that. The McCain thing got me, and then that got me. You and I both have friends that you and I talk on Twitter, and we have friends with special needs children. And I actually have a guy I work with who just had a baby and found out that the baby has Down syndrome. And watching him and watching what he's going through and watching how he's accepted it and just not even accepted it, just absolutely grasped it as, I don't care how my baby is. That's my child. And to watch somebody that wants to be the president of the United States mock somebody with a birth defect, absolutely just, it sickens me. And I don't understand where the support for him that doesn't see that comes from. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I've always thought of conservatives/Republicans as the actual, people that cared. And I'm seeing why there's a split, because I was wrong. I'm guessing I was wrong, because these people think it's funny. I've actually been told that mocking of a birth defect was funny. I've been told that. How is that funny?
I don't know. I mean, and I'll be honest, I have friends, because, I mean, I know you and I haven't met in person, but I have a pretty good limp, thanks to some injuries that I suffered when I was younger. But I have a friend who basically, that's kind of how we got to know each other. He had a birth defect. I have a limp. We started making fun of each other. I understand it with friends. I really do, because I have friends that will give me grief all the time. I have a guy that I used to work with at one of the jobs I had a few years back who used to, I don't know if you remember the movie Goonies, but the old really ugly dude with the broken teeth and everything, that was his nickname for me. He actually, when we finally got to the point where we weren't trying to kill each other, we realized that we had a lot in common and the same kind of sense of humor. So he kept, one day he kept calling or following me around and calling me, I think, what was that thing's name, Sloth or something? So one time when I was on break, I went and I started following him around and I started yelling out, Baby Ruth. And since then, we were like best buddies. And I get it with friends. I really do. Because once you get to know somebody, if they've got something quirky and they've got the same kind of sense of humor that you do, then fine, pick on each other about it. As long as the other party's okay with it, I really don't care. But don't do it to a complete stranger and then expect nobody to get upset about it. And then when you realize that you've done something wrong, like he obviously knows that he did, to do nothing about it, to say nothing about it, and now not once but twice, on top of all of the other things that he's done, to me it just proves to me that he is not the person that, one, we need to give access to the nuclear launch codes. I have to say, that's the scariest thought about this for me. It's not even the fact that he's a complete authoritarian who will likely make what I'm doing right now illegal within 18 months, because I will still keep speaking out about him even after he becomes president, so I'm sure I'm going to be on a watch list somewhere. I've already been told my name's going to some freaking big muckety-muck of his. I really don't give a damn. But, I mean, I don't understand why and how we could put somebody that is obviously that unstable in charge of the free world. I mean, the dude idolizes Putin. And as much as I see the contrast between Obama and Putin, Putin is still not the person that I would want to make president, and that's basically what we're doing with Trump. Is Putin with
Absolutely.
hair. Putin with bad hair.
So basically, it goes, Putin said something nasty about me, so now I need to nuke him. And I know that's extreme, but the man would have his finger on the button. He would have his finger on the button. He's extremely narcissistic. Anybody that says anything negative about him, true or not, he goes nuts. He goes absolutely crazy. Look at his Twitter feed. What scares me more than anything is, his Twitter feed isn't completely him. It's his people. And if you look at what his Twitter feed says, or if you look at what his Facebook feed says, those are the people that he is putting in charge of saying that. And the only time anything ever gets deleted, now at least, is if there's a grammatical error. So he believes in everything that goes out on his Twitter feed. If you look at his Twitter feed, it's psychotic. It is completely psychotic. And these people want to put him in the most powerful position in the world. It's psychotic. I read it and I laugh, but at the same time I go, even if he's not writing it, he's approving it. That's what's going out. That's what's being said. And so he approves it. And on top of it, he uses words like goofy, and he's a child. He is a man-child. We already have a man-child in the White House, but at least the man-child that's in the White House right now, I don't like him. I've never liked him, but I think he is way more honest than the man that they are trying to put into the White House right now. He's honest. He believes in what he believes in. He's a socialist / communist, and that's what he's trying to do. He's a true globalist. They call the Trumpkins call the GOP, who is now backing him, call them globalists. No. Obama is a globalist. He wants us to be Europe. And it's destroying me, because we're getting ready to put Obama back in the White House with an R next to his name. That's the way I feel.
No, exactly. And I guess there are lots of things about Obama I don't like, and we're actually going to touch on one of those in just a second, because I just saw something come across James Wood's feed that actually made me start hurling. But the thing with Obama is, yes, he's a socialist. Yes, he's basically a communist to a point, but he's a social justice warrior. That's been where the majority of his fight's been. Trump, on the other hand, is going to take what was already a really terrible foreign policy agenda and put it on steroids and then threaten to blow up anybody that disagrees with him, because he's going to be able to put his finger on the nukes. And I know you said that in jest. I'm actually somewhat afraid that that's exactly what he's going to do, because it's the only thing that he knows how to do, because that's what he does. He goes in, he causes a barroom brawl, knocks everybody out, then picks them up, dusts them off, and says, okay, we fought, now I've won, let's go have a beer. Now, to a point, I understand and I respect that, because I have friends that are that way. I really do. One of my business partners is exactly that kind of a person. If he disagrees with you about something, he will take you out in the front yard, kick your ass, and bring you in and buy you a beer. That's just how he is. That's how Trump does business. The problem is, Trump will not just be doing business anymore. He'll be running the free world. I mean, we were, until Obama started screwing it up, the country that everybody looked to as to what they were going to do and what the trends were going to be around the world and who was going to do what and how we were going to get it done. And we're going to go from somebody that had no idea what they were doing and basically pulled us out of anything he possibly could, made us friends with Cuba and Iran, to now all of a sudden he's going to be like, oh, you mess with me? I have the codes, bitch. This is not going to be a good thing. Not at all. Now, back to Obama for a second, because I just saw... So, he had to chime in today on the whole bathroom thing. He's actually made it a federal mandate now that schools have to allow transgendered people, which, by the way, isn't anything physical. You can even mentally feel like you should be another gender, and then at that point, you are apparently, by that definition, you're allowed to use whatever bathroom you want. He's actually making it a federal mandate at this point, at least from something that I heard on the news today. Now, to take it even a little bit further... Apparently, by the new Obamacare standards, if a transgendered individual goes into a doctor and says, hey, doc, I think I have ovarian cancer, the doctor's not allowed to tell the individual they can't because they don't have ovaries. To hell.
You know me, I live in North Carolina. I've been going through this whole bathroom situation for a while. I haven't been a huge fan of my governor, but I've become a huge fan of my governor because he's standing up for it. He's saying, people go, well, what does it really matter? Why is it a big situation? This, that, and the other thing. Well, the reason it's a big situation is because 0.18 of the population, along with the LGBT and everybody else, made it a big situation. So my governor stepped up and said, no, this isn't going to happen. And I appreciate that. It may cost us my own federal tax money coming back to my schools. But you know what? It's about states' rights. We are a republic. The states have their own right to say what will and will not happen in the state. If you don't like what happens in that state, then leave the state. That's what I say. The federal government does not have a right to tell any state in this union how they will and will not handle who pisses where. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Obama can take the whole thing and shove it. So it's about the Constitution. If I do not want, and my state does not want, a grown man pissing next to my 15-year-old daughter, then that's the way my state wants it, and you can take your little federal mandate and you can shove it up your ass.
So just to put this in perspective, because this is a thought that just occurred to me, the same folks that want to do nothing but point out to you how science rules all, as far as bathrooms are concerned, science doesn't matter. Let that sink in for just a second. All right, so we're about to wrap up. Do you want to hang out for the Day in the Life of Hillary's email segment, or do you want to call it good, or what do you want to do?
I'm here.
All right, cool. Just making sure, because at this point I'm going to change gears for a second.
You've got mail.
All right, folks, you know what that sound means. It means it's time for a Day in the Life of Hillary Server.
She's a very slinky girl, the kind you don't want for Commander-in-Chief. She will never let her guard down, says it's her turn to be leader. Oh, girl, she likes her emails to be secret. She says it's none of your damn business. When she makes her move to conceal it, Miss Half-Time, she's never done no wrong. Oh, no, that girl is pretty.
Dear Rick, hey, it's me, Server, man. What's going on? You keep moving I keep sending you all this stuff. You keep moving all my stuff around. You tell me you're going to have it on Mondays. You tell me you're going to have it on Tuesdays. Then it turns to maybe Tuesday or Thursday. And then it goes to Friday. Then now it's back to Monday. And then you didn't even do it on Monday. You took the night off, and you had some folks filling in for you. Look, there's a reason why I went to WikiLeaks, man. I told you that months ago. If you don't get back on the ball, I'm just going to stop sending you my stuff. But anyway, here's a couple of emails for you. Knock them dead, man. Make them understand exactly what I go through on a daily basis, being locked in this woman's bathroom. From HDR@ClintonMail.com to Robbie Mook. Subject, Republican help. Bobby, have a question for you. I told Face the Nation yesterday that I've gotten a lot of outreach from Republicans who want to help me defeat Donald. I've heard from Jeb Bush and several others. So my first question would be, is 5 considered a lot by most people? And my other question, does it count as reaching out to me if a Republican reaches out with their middle finger extended when they see me? Clarification would be greatly appreciated. Your master, Hillary. From HDR@ClintonMail.com to Abadan. Subject, missed opportunity. Hey, Sunshine, got your email about the coverage of my Q&A with that coal miner last week. Hopefully that won't come back to hurt us too bad. I agree with you that we really missed a great opportunity with that one. Your idea was brilliant, and I can't believe we didn't think of it in time. I should have stopped by a mine in the area, wiped some soot on my face, and maybe a little on my stylish pantsuit ensemble. And then, when I started coughing, which I always do, we could have explained that I've spent so much time in the coal mines that I have black lung myself. That would have made it seem so much more relatable. I hate that we let that one slip away from us. Having regrets today, Hillary. From HDR@ClintonMail.com to Cheryl Mills. Subject, Guccifer hacking, or Guccifer hacking? I don't even know what that is, but anyway. Millie, you don't think it's really possible that Goose hacked my private server, do you? I mean, as someone who can't even tell you what IT stands for, I would have known if we had been hacked, right? Isn't there a message that pops up on the screen saying you're being hacked right now? They told me we had McAfee installed. Doesn't that stop everything? For heaven's sake, the server was secretly located in my basement. How could anybody hack it if they didn't even know where it was? Can someone actually hack your computer from a remote location? I thought they had to do it physically, at the server. Sorry about the 20 questions. I'm just very confused about all of this. At least if my run for the White House fails, I'll be able to get a job in the IT field, whatever that is, with all the knowledge I have of computers and stuff. Thanks, Hillary.
She's a very sleazy girl, the kind you don't want for Commander-in-Chief. She will never let her guard down. Let's get her off the streets. Blow, Billy!
All right, folks, that was A Day in the Life of Hillary Server, brought to you by Eric Williams of barbedwiresatire.com. He hangs out with us when I can fit him in. I keep moving him around. I'm sure he's probably not real happy about that, which is why I poked a little fun at myself about it in the opening. And, of course, he's with Janie and Stacy every Sunday for the Sunday Update. I actually forgot the name of what they call it for the moment, but hey, it's almost 11 o'clock Eastern, and I'm ready for a scotch, so what can I say? All right, so as a reminder, the lines were open all night long. We've given out the number multiple times. It's been tweeted out on Twitter about 80 different times. We've been telling Trumpkin after Trumpkin after Trumpkin the lines were open and they could call in, and all we got was... So just remember that the next time you have a Trumpkin talking smack to you on Twitter, tell him to get off a keyboard and actually accomplish something. All right, so before we get out of here, I do want to give my guest... Go ahead.
We got...
Well, that's true. We did get
John
Miller. I mean, we got to tout that one. John Miller actually called my show. That was amazing. I kind of forgot about it.
He was great. He totally did not out himself as Donald Trump or anything.
No, not at all. I mean, not 42 times or anything. All right, so on the way out the door, why don't you remind folks where they can interact with you should they choose to do so?
I'm Cracker at 1911G_fan on Twitter.
All right, and I, of course, am Rick Robinson, host of America Off the Rails. I'll be taking a little break next week. I have Jess sitting in for me at least on Monday and Tuesday. I'll be back to do the WNJC show, and then I'm not sure about the rest of the week because the wife's on vacation, so I'm thinking I may take a little bit of an extended break because it's been about 6 years since I've taken any type of a long break from radio. And at this point, I think it's about time to take a break because I feel like I've spent 6 years building up the GOP just to basically get told, F off, we don't need you. So, yeah. But if you choose to interact with me, there are multiple ways you can do so. You can interact with me on Twitter at AOTR_host. You can shoot me an email at either rick@k98talk.org or ricky@thesparkradionetwork.com. You can follow me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Radio Ricky Robinson. Shoot me a friend's request. We'll talk, we'll chat, we'll hang out. You don't want to talk to me directly, you're welcome to go like the Facebook page for the show, which is America Off the Rails. Give it a like. Go hang out over there. I'm not on there nearly as much as I'm on Twitter, so if you honestly want to hang out, Twitter or email is going to be one of the best ways to do it. And again, just as a reminder, I gave you guys an entire hour, well, almost, because we didn't open the phone lines till 15 after, but I gave you guys pretty much the whole show to call in and tell me one good reason why you support Trump and maybe why I should have too, and you chose to sit it out. So, on that note, we're out. I don't care anymore. Y'all can go away. All right, folks.
Good night, Rick.
Have a great night. I'll be back with you guys when I see you again. I may take most of the next week off, so I'll have some fill-ins for me, but we'll still have a show. And on that note, I'm out.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan, period.
This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
Oh, welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy. Don't expect us to admit a mistake. We're paying off election.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.